Hi, I'm Claire from Pilates Clare. Welcome to my studio. The Pilates 100 is one of those exercises that most people have heard of. It's done at the start of every class, whether that's on the reformer or on the mat. You'll normally do some version or some variation of the 100. I'm going to talk to you about a few different options. There's loads of variations to this exercise, and I'm going to go over just a few of them. So we do this at the start of class because it's a really good warm up. It gets the blood really pumping through the body and it works all kinds of different muscles. So it's just a good start to every class that we do. So if we look at the full version of the exercise, we would have our legs straight, squeezed together, the arms come up, we curl up, the legs come up, so they're a few inches off the floor, and then we pump the arms from here, and you inhale for 5 beats, and you exhale for 5 beats to a count of 100, which is where it gets its name. So that's quite challenging to do in that position. So you might think that there's no way you can do that, but there's lots of variations, like I say. So if we start right at the beginning, if you've never done Pilates before, then you might want to start just with the arms and just keeping the focus on your breath as much as you can. So you could have your knees bent, your legs squeezing together, and then we can just do the arms. So the arms come up and they pump, and you focus on your breath, and you just go from there. Gradually building up. You might not even get to 100 to begin with. Depending on your fitness levels, that might be enough for you. But I'm going to talk about some other options that we can do. So again, if you're a beginner, then you might stick with this knees bent position, feet on the floor, and then add in a curl up. And we lift up, so you're not coming too high. The bottom of the shoulder blades are still on the mat. And then you do your arms from here, and you focus on your breath. So it's a nice, strong movement through your arms. The wrists aren't kind of flopping around. You don't want your head to go up and down. Just movement comes from the back of the body, and your arms pump up and down, maybe moving about 6 to 8 inches. And then you might stick with that version for a while. If that's too tricky, you could just work on coming up and then rolling down. So you get used to carrying the head and the chest and working those abdominal muscles. So once that starts to get easy and you've built up so that you can hold it for a longer amount of time, you might want to do that same thing with your legs straight. So you squeeze the legs together and you curl up, and you can do the movement here. Now this exercise isn't suitable for everyone with the legs straight and long here. Some people would just find that that's really too uncomfortable on their lower back. You need to have a very good core strength to be able to do that exercise with the legs straight out. So if you can't do it here and lifting, but this is too easy, then you might want to take your legs up towards the ceiling. So your legs are up here, and you squeeze them together, and we curl up, and we pump the arms, and you do your 100 in this position. It is often taught with our legs in a tabletop position. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but if you can, then stick with straight legs. And if you can't, then just bend your knees as much as you need to enable you to do that. You can draw them back towards the chest as well if you need to. So gradually, you can start to increase the length of time that you do it up until that count of 100. And then we can work on that leg position. So if once you're comfortable here, then you can start to lower the legs down and maybe trying to get to a level where they're at about 45 degrees and doing it here. And that's probably the most common way of people doing it. And eventually, when you get really strong, you can bring them so the legs are much lower and you're in this position here. So there are really lots of options for the 100. Give them a go, see how you get on, and let me know how it goes. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the mat soon.